Alrighty, boys and girls. So today we're going to be reading The Poppy Lady. The Poppy Lady. Does anybody know what a poppy is? What's a poppy? Name. It's a type of flower. And when do we usually see poppies? You don't know? Diego, do you know? Who knows? In May? Maybe. When else do we see poppies? During what time of the year? During what holiday? Kelly? Memorial Day, but also Veterans Day, right? Also Veterans Day. Maeve? Yeah, exactly. So have you ever noticed when you walk into a store around Veterans Day that somebody might be outside the store selling a poppy flowers? Have you ever noticed that? Yeah? So have you ever thought about why? Have you ever thought about that? Why are they selling me these flowers? Well, we're going to find out in this book. It's called The Poppy Lady by Moina Bell Michael and her tribute to veterans. Written by Barbara Elizabeth Walsh, paintings by Lane Johnson. Okay, here's the prologue. Moina Bell Michael looked forward to summer vacation when she returned home from her third year of boarding school in 1885. All appeared normal on the family plantation. Her two brothers were off fishing in Indian Creek, and her four sisters were busy helping her mother prepare for the big 4th of July barbecue. But Moina soon found out that things were far from normal in the close-knit community of Good Hope, Georgia. In the 20 years since the surrender, families had lost everything in the Civil War and were still unable to recover their losses and start over. And while Moina had been away, things had gotten worse. Drought had ruined the cotton crops, so people had little money. The children in the community couldn't even attend school. There was no money for a teacher. Moina's mother came up with a plan. From an early age, Moina was determined to learn. She had read the complete works of Shakespeare and Bryan. Now, at the age of 15, she was well educated. Perhaps she could teach the neighbors' children. The thought interested Moina. At her mother's suggestion, she cleaned out a slave's log cabin abandoned on the plantation and set up a school with two of her sisters, one brother, and a few local children. On that first day, Moina began class with a verse from the Bible, an inspiring song, and a prayer. Moina believed anything was possible if you did your best and followed through. Throughout her life, she often relied on her favorite motto: whatsoever your hands find to do it with all your might. March 1917. German U-boats had sunk another American ship, and the nation was outraged. Would the president call for war? Would Congress agree? Moina Bell Michael prayed not. She had been touring Europe when the first war broke out in the summer of 1914. But now, bomb craters, trenches, barbed wire barriers, and battlefields covered the beautiful countryside, visions that still made her shudder. April 1917. The paperboy wheeled his bicycle across the University of Georgia's normal school, slamming on his brakes when he reached Moina. Moina snatched the Athens banner away from him, struck by the thundering headline: Wilson asking for war. Moina slowly climbed to the top of the dormitory steps and held out the newspaper for all to see. It was striking how different personalities reacted to the sight of the headline as war began hammering against the home door of every American. Moina knew what war would mean to the college girls. She was their teacher and foster mother. Their brothers, their sweethearts, were war service age. Some of their fathers were. Moina promised she would let them know as soon as the president and Congress reached a decision. All night, Moina called the Athens banner. Each time she was told to be patient. The president was still talking to Congress. At 10:30 p.m., she called again. Tell the young ladies to say their prayers, to go to bed and go to sleep. The frustrated editor replied. When news broke, an extra edition would be delivered to campus and into Moina's hands. Sleep was out of the question. On campus, Moina looked to the stars and the moon, bright on this clear springtime night, and breathed the scent of the white Cape jasmine blossoms. She thought of the boys at the university. She offered all to God if only he would spare them. She thought of boys throughout the country, if only she could go in their place. Before dawn, the edition finally arrived. Moina read Wilson's inspiring plea to defend democracy and defend the rights of small nations, defend the freedom of the seas. America was going to war. Moina vowed to do everything she could for the soldiers, to remember them. Moina knitted socks and sweaters, rolled badges for the Red Cross, and when enlisted friends and students came to say goodbye, she gave them a little remembrance to take overseas. But Moina wanted to do more. She delivered books, magazines, and candy to their camps nearby. She and friends invited soldiers home for dinner. And I felt privileged to give my best welcome to these lads in my country's uniform. And when it was time for them to leave, Moina went to the train station to see them off. My heart was thrilled with pride for their bravery, courage, and cheerfulness. They were so young. They were so innocent of the dangers they were to face. But Moina needed to do more. To become a canteen worker for the YMCA and help the soldiers overseas seemed perfect. She could listen about home and family and serve food to men on leave from the battlefronts. In the fall of 1918, her appointment approved, 49-year-old Moina headed for New York City and the training program at the Y headquarters at Columbia University. She successfully completed the course, but she was told that she was too old to go overseas. Moina refused to give up, but what could she do now? Help the soldiers before they left for war. Moina set a desk in the basement of Columbia's Hamilton Hall where soldiers, sailors, Marines, and secretaries came during their free time. Every day brought privileges to serve men and women going overseas, each to face the submarine-infested Atlantic and the gas, bombs, and shrapnel of the battlefronts. But as winter approached, the large room turned gray and gloomy. The soldiers deserved a brighter, more comfortable place. Moina knew what to do. With her small salary, Moina brought fresh flowers and placed them about the room. More soldiers came to read and write. Others came to spend time with family, friends, and sweethearts. So often they would hang about near their desk, waiting for a bit of attention. And Moina was happy to look at photographs, listen to letters, and share the latest hometown news. But she knew she had to do more. One Saturday morning, a soldier left a magazine at her desk. Moyna turned to a marked page to find We Shall Not Sleep by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae, a Canadian physician. She had read the poem many times, but she read it again, touched by McCrae's tribute to the soldiers he could not save on the battlefield. The poem was most strikingly illustrated in color. Spirits of soldiers floated above a battleground, covered in white crosses and bright red poppies. There were no names on the crosses, no memory of who rested beneath the red poppies. And Moyna knew what she had to do. She read the last verse slowly. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep though poppies grow in Flanders fields. To Moyna, it seemed as though the silent voices again were vocal, whispering. She thought of friends and students and the soldiers at the Y, and she knew that she could never forget them. Moyna turned over an envelope and wrote a pledge, ending with a promise. When she finished, Moyna looked up at the 3 war workers standing by her desk. On behalf of everyone, they had come to repay her for her kindness. She shared both poems with the men. Impressed, they shared them with others. Soon, Moyna was surrounded by men wanting poppies of their own to honor their buddies sleeping now among the poppies of the Flanders fields. Moyna knew just what to do. With their $10 check, she announced, I shall buy red poppies, and I shall always wear red poppies, poppies of Flanders fields. Moyna went poppy hunting on the streets of New York. It never occurred to me the difficulty I would find finding artificial poppies of Flanders fields in the novelty shops of New York City. At last, in Wanamaker's department store, she found 1 large and 24 small red silk poppies. Moyna pinned one onto her coat collar and hurried back to the Y. It was evening, and the room was quiet. Moyna placed a large red poppy in the vase on her desk and handed out 23 smaller ones to the men and women leaving soon for France. She watched as they pinned them onto their uniforms. Still, she needed to do more. She would not stop until every American wore a poppy to remember the soldiers, always. The end, and then it goes into the epilogue. And so after the war ended, it talks about how this tradition of Americans wearing poppies to remember and thank and honor the veterans who fought in the war. So every Veterans Day, people are selling these poppies and everybody wears them as like a symbol, a sign, a physical sign to show their honor and remembrance for the veterans who fought in the war. The end. What do you think of the book? Good? You liked it? Yeah? So who could tell me, now that we've read this book, why do we wear poppies on Veterans Day? Sienna? Yes. Yep. All right. So now that we've done this, I'm going to explain what we're doing for our writing activity. What's that mean? Yes, this was a real story. This was based on a real story. Moyna Bell Michaels was a real person.
She's still alive?
No, she's not still alive. Who remembers when this book took place? They said it in the beginning, in the prologue. Do you remember? 1885. Who knows how long ago that was? about how long ago that was? What do you think? Yeah, a really long time. Yeah.
Like 200 years.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, no, she's not still alive. She was 49 when she started, when she got the idea of doing copies and giving them out to the soldiers and the people around her. She was 49. Yep, now it's a tradition in America where every American likes to wear poppies to honor the veterans. So that's why you'll see them if you go to a store and somebody's standing outside the store selling poppies, asking you, do you want a poppy? That's why. Yeah, so now you can look out for that. Okay, so for our writing activity now, what we're going to be doing is at the end of the week, we're going to have a finished copy of a writing. You can choose either an essay about Veterans Day and what it means to you and why it's important. You could write a thank you letter to a veteran who you may know or a veteran that you may not even know. Or you could do an acrostic poem where you could do a few of these options. It could say American, it could say hero, it could say Veterans Day. Who could tell me what an acrostic poem is? What's an acrostic poem? Kelly.
It's basically like you put out a word and you're write a word or something.
Yes, so you're using the first letter of each of the letters in the word to create a poem, a sentence. So it would look something like this. Something like this. So like this one says American. So for each letter it's capitalized and they wrote a sentence starting with that letter. So for A it says a day to honor you for the land of the free. M says men and women risk their lives to save and honor our country. E says extraordinary people doing extraordinary work. R says red poppies are symbols of honor. Okay, so and so on. And this one is heroes. So you could choose one of those, or Veterans Day if you'd like. And then you could also do a thank you letter. A thank you letter. So for letters, what is an important part about writing in a letter? What do you do, me? Right, yep. And how do you start a letter? You have to address it to someone, right? You got to address it to someone. So I have an example of a letter right here that we could look at. So you address it to someone, dear veteran, or say you know someone, dear grandpa, dear uncle, dear aunt. Thank you. This letter says thank you heroes for all you do. I like living here because there is peace thanks to the military, and so on. Writing your personal thoughts, thanking a veteran, and then you end the letter saying, thank you, Maeve. Love, Maeve. Understand? So I'm going to leave some of these examples of letters or a paragraph about what Veterans Day means to you. I'm going to leave them all up here if you want to come look at them. And I'll also put up on the board the acrostic poem as well. This is also, it is important to honor Veterans Day, why it's important to you. Okay? So you can choose one of these three pieces of writing, and we're going to start in our writer's notebook. So everyone take out your writer's notebook. Okay, I believe your chair is by Miss DiMaggio. Is Miss chair? So I'm going to hand some of these examples out, pass them along. You can take a look at them.
I was sitting right
We're
there.
going to do the top one? Okay.
I was sitting
We're going to look at some of these examples. Okay, so choose one. Does everybody know what they want to do, maybe? That's an example. Oh, that's way out. Yes. You're going to do an acrostic poem? Like this one? Okay, so you could choose. It could be American, it could be Heroes, it could be Veteran, it could be Veterans Day. Okay? Yes, Kelly. You can do that too. God bless you. Yep, you can do that. What veteran means to you, what Veterans Day is, why it's important to celebrate it. And remember, we have so many resources. We went over our Veterans Day packet this morning. That's in your social studies folder. So we have that you could refer back to. We have other worksheets that we have done this past week that you could look back on. Also, I just want to show you guys that I posted on your Google Classroom, on your social studies, is a reading of the Poppy Lady. If you want to look back on that, on your Chromebook, you could look back on that. If you want to remember a few things that it said in the book, it's right here under social studies, okay? Yep, feel free once you're ready. Which one do you think you want to do? Essay, a thank you letter. Thank you letter, you could address it to a veteran, thanking them for their service, thanking them for what they've done. The first one is an essay about Veterans Day and what it means to you. So you have to talk about, I think Veterans Day is important because we celebrate Veterans Day because, you see what I'm getting at? Yep, that's perfect. Make sure though that when you do the acrostic poem, boys and girls, everybody listen up. Remember that when you do the acrostic poem, like how it is up here, that you capitalize the letters. You see how American is capitalized? You could do that, but make sure it's capitalized down your page, because it's going to be the first word of your sentence. That make sense? Okay. Yeah, this is your rough draft. We're going to go over it. What's that? What was that? Dear Leah. So dear is D-E-A-R. Dear. And then Leah, L-E-A-H. Comma. Yeah, perfect. I love that you're doing that. Yes. Oh, the three options? Yes. Important. Can I write it on the board? I'll write it up here. Important. Yes, Arlo.
So how would you do it? How is doing
If you're going to spell words, so what word would you like to do? There. Hero. So do an H-E-R-O. Capitalize.
Would I do it in the line?
Do it behind this line. Like that.
So like here.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. All capitalized. What do you think you're doing, Theo? The third one? You want to do an acrostic poem? Okay, so what acrostic poem would you like to do? The second one, a thank you letter? Okay. Do you want to do it to anyone specific? No? So you could start out your letter saying, Dear Veteran, Dear Hero, You're welcome. Sacrifice. That's a good one. up your social studies folder and get out the packet that you're working on today. Alright, so let me write it on the board. Oh, wait. Let me get you that packet so that you can refer back. Yeah. Yep. You finished writing. Okay. So boys and girls, everybody listen up. When you finish your rough draft, I'm going to partner you together with somebody else who's finished, and you're going to read it to one another, okay, and talk about your ideas, share what you were thinking, share what your final copy is going to look like, okay, what you plan on doing. What's up, Diego? Honor? Okay, so I'm going to partner. Sacrifice is in your social studies packet. Do you remember in your packet how we looked at in this one? Sacrifice. Okay, who else is finished? Arlo, you're done?
No, but I have a question. Does it have to be like a sentence? Like, does it have to make sense together?
It's just individual sentences about Veterans Day that's going to all come together as a poem. So it doesn't have to be directly after one another, if that's what you're saying. It could just be an individual sentence, but it does have to do with Veterans Day. Yes. What was that? Amazing. A-M-A-Z-I-N-G. Amazing. You're also done, Billy? No? You finished? God bless you. What was that? Starving. Oh, serving. S-E-R-V-I-N-G. Country. C-O-U-N-T-R-Y. Country. What's that? Yes, that's wonderful. Honor you and thank you. I love that. Force. So F-O-R-C-E. R-C-E. You're finished still? Anybody else done yet? We're finishing up? You're finished? Oh, you're finishing up. Okay, so when you're finished, Dylan, you're going to partner up with Karen. Karen, if you want to sit right in Samuel's seat so that you guys can exchange your ideas, go over your writing together, that would be great. Us. U-S. Yes. Military. Military is in your packet. You're finished as well? Okay. M-I-L. go over to Karen, or Karen wants to go over to you? You want to go over to Karen right now? Yeah, you have to read your ideas together, exchange them. What's that, Nico? Sacrifice. I will give you. You're finished? Do you guys want to chat? No? Okay. Go over to Karen and read each other. E. Okay, think of words that start with E. Everybody, everyone, everything.
Everybody.
Yeah. I think you can come up with a lot of good sentences with that. Every. Think of that word.
Whoa.
How you doing, Mike?
Next letter to someone? What about mom's opinion?
This one. Yeah, what's that? Yeah, the military covers all of those branches. Yeah, so it says it. Yeah, these are all the branches and the military. Yeah. You're welcome. Exactly. Yep. Okay, boys and girls, we're going to work on this for a few more minutes, and then we're going to start to share a little bit of what we have so far. Doesn't mean that you're done, and that's okay because we're not going to finish today, but we're going to keep working on it throughout the week. People, P-E-O. You're done? E-O. P-L-E. Bless you. Yes. Bless you. gonna bring your chair over there? Yeah, that's totally fine. Sacrifice. I will bring it over to you now. Okay, let's wrap up our thoughts right now. Write whatever you have in your head down real quick, and then we're going to share a little bit of what we have so far. Poppies. Poppies would be P-O-P-I-E-S. You're welcome. Thank you, Janice. Alrighty. Okay, let's finish writing whatever we're currently writing, and then let's put our pencils down. Finish, perfect timing. Who could share with the class, read aloud what they have so far? Diego, you want to read aloud? Go ahead.
Veterans Day is a important day which honors the people in the military that has passed away.
Nice. Yeah, so Diego's doing an essay about what Veterans Day is. I love that. Who else wants to share? Arlo, you want to read it out loud? You're doing an acrostic puzzle, poem, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
H, honoring the thankful. E, everybody honors the respectful. R, respecting yours, but everybody doesn't. That's all I have so far.
Nice. That sounds great. Who else wants to read aloud? You want to go, Sienna? What'd you write? Is it an essay? Okay.
Veterans Day is a day when people around the country honor men and women who served in the United States Army Forces. On this day, we remember our friends and honor the heroes that have sacrificed so much to make our families safe and protect. Veterans Day is celebrated each year on November 11th. Veterans Day used to be called Armistice Day.
Nice. I like how you added that in from the paragraph we read earlier. Good. You want to read a little bit, Maeve? Go ahead. I love that. That's awesome. I love why you explained why you wanted to thank the veterans and that. Nice. Anybody else one last share? Anybody else wanted to share? No? Alright, well you guys did a wonderful job. So we're gonna finish this up. So this is just our rough draft. We're gonna finish drafting it and editing it tomorrow, and then we're gonna have our final copy by Friday. Okay? Which we're gonna type up. Alright, good job everyone.